Alrighty then, here we go for the fourth, oh goodness gracious, for the fourth time today. I am driving around talking to you guys. So I don't know what day you're watching these. I don't know if you watch them in order, and I don't know if I'm even going to upload them in order. Ooh, don't tell anybody. But this needs to be upped a little bit so you can see my face. Anywho, I recorded 2 extra videos today of me going to and from this new facility that I was super excited to visit. And then while I was doing that, I recorded my trips, which were longer than usual trips, and obviously the battery on my camera was quite drained. The ride home is typically like an 18-minute ride, and you all will be brought on board for however much of it I can record. My camera, when I turned it off after my adventure, said that it had 22 minutes of battery life left. Now, as I turn it on and get ready to start recording, it tells me that it has 16 minutes of battery life left. Any way you slice that pie, it's cutting it close when the drive itself is 18 minutes long, but I am just going to talk and record until my great phone or camera dies. And that's just how today is going to be. I did go to Arby's. I had talked about going to Arby's, and I did go to Arby's. That was tasty. It hit the spot. It's always nice when you go out to eat and it turns out to actually be good. Sometimes, well, I shouldn't even say sometimes, most of the time here recently, I go out to eat and it's disappointing. And like, that's how I treat myself. Like, the idea was, oh, you deserve a treat, go out to eat. And I do, and then I'm disappointed with the food quality and the food, and it just makes me mad that I went out to eat and I didn't enjoy it. And so it was good to go out to eat and actually enjoy the food. I was going to record that whole thing, but given how close on time I've been, because like I said, I'm at this point, I'm like, I've got 18 minutes to get home, and the camera's saying I got 16 minutes of film left. So I did not record myself eating. I did not record myself going through the drive-through, which were all things that I was like, I should do that, because it's not often that I get the chance to do that with these guys, but and girls, whoever's watching. But at any rate, it didn't happen because I wanted to get one more solid video in. And that way I get the full 4 videos today. Bang, bang, bang. We got enough videos now. What is this person doing? I'm about to honk. I can't tell if there's too many people ahead of us or what, but they were sitting at a stop sign for a very long time. Yeah, no, there was nobody ahead of us. We missed a light because of them. Idiots. I should have honked. Oh well. It's not that big of a deal. I'm just over here stressing out because I only got 16 minutes on my camera left. Worse things could have happened. But, whatever. So yeah, what a day it was today. Another productive day, another good day. I had made a video, was it last week or the week before, about how the bad days just keep on coming. But I must say we're reaching a kind of silver lining point in that the clouds have spread open, and I feel like we're doing good stuff. And like I've definitely felt the burden off my shoulders here recently, so that feels good. And just trying to keep things moving in the right direction, keep things happening in the right ways. And so, yeah, I am anxiously awaiting like that point when things finally start to mold and get better. And there's been lots of talks about like ways to get things better and ways to improve, and I am just on board with that within reason. You know, you got to make sure that you're making the right improvements, kind of like what I was talking about earlier today. I keep circling back to what I was talking about earlier today, and if you are watching this in order, you're probably gonna be like, oh, you already talked about all this stuff. But like, to a degree, it's good to be passionate about the stuff that you work about every day and talk about every day, which I am. But yeah, just exciting stuff. It's nice to be excited about work. I would be even more thrilled about work if work was me writing books, or me creating TV shows, or me doing whatever me does, and that is not entirely out of the question. And so I am just thrilled beyond belief. I've got a meeting on Friday. Friday is going to be a very eventful day. I've got a meeting with the people who are doing this animation project. I've got a meeting with them on Friday. I'm at least going to go with the pitch deck and the character designs. I'm not very sure if I'm going to go the full route with them. They're making it sound like the animation is going to be pretty pricey, which it doesn't surprise me if it is pretty pricey. I would really like to get the pilot episode done, because I feel like that would be a strong pitch. I would be able to pitch the pilot, I'd be able to pitch the pitch deck, I'd be able to pitch the characters. I'd have a lot of material there to bolster up a strong pitch for a network. Obviously, I have no idea how to pitch a show to a network, but one problem at a time. And I guess I keep saying one problem at a time, but I also have written up like 10-minute episodes instead of like your standard 24. And like even now, like most Netflix exclusives run for like close to an hour. So I would have to probably expand upon the scripts by a great deal, depending on who picked me up. But like that always goes into like you're thinking too far ahead. But to a degree, and I talked about this earlier today as well, but I watched this video around Mr. Beast and studying like his success and all of that, and the person who was running the video kind of like studied his psyche in general. And one of the things that he said was that Mr. Beast, he perceives the future as though it's already happened. And that perception, there's a fancy term that they use for it, but that perception basically helps us to succeed, because if we believe it's already happened and you're just living through the cycle of getting there, then it helps you get there. And I'm trying to shift my mindset away from, gee, wouldn't it be nice if, to, you know, this has already happened in the future, and I'm just playing out the role of how I get there. And that, I feel like, is a healthy thing to believe and to understand and to operate under, and just no longer be like, if this happens, but when. Always be saying when this happens, because it will happen. And how cool would that be to be able to pitch this, cartoon and animation to people. And like, I don't know, like I said, I don't know the darndest thing about pitching a cartoon, and I'm willing to wager that very few people in this world do, but that is okay. That's how we learn, and that's how we figure it out. I think first and foremost, I'm gonna have to find a television agent, really hoping that having this strong of a pitch package together is going to help said television agent pick me and be like, yeah, this is a good show, let's invest in it. Honestly, I really hate the amount of middlemen that are in any entertainment related process, and that's like you just have tons of middlemen and gatekeepers, and of course they all want their cut. So it's like I'm gonna have an agent, and he's gonna want to cut, and then the studio is gonna put a bunch of money on it, and they're gonna want to cut. And like, it's not even like the money that bothers me about it, it's just the fact that like I'm doing all this work to make this happen, and then all of these people are going to get paid for it just to like give a studio the permission to even see me. So it's like this agent's like, oh, I don't know how much agents get, like 30% or something stupid probably. I want 30%. And I didn't write this, I didn't even look over it, I didn't even watch your pilot, but I want 30% just so that I can get it in front of people. And it's like, okay, gee, that's awesome. And then whatever we sell for, because I feel like that's how that usually works, is you sell for whatever price, and then 30% of that cut goes to the agent, and then from then on it's Netflix's problem, or it's whoever's problem that bought the project. And like, for my first project, I really don't want to let go of it. Like, it'd be very tempting, especially if they offered me like a very generous amount of money. It'd be very tempting to just go out and do it. Be like, yep, it's mine, thanks. But to the same end, like, yucko, I don't want to do that. So hopefully I can like still be involved. Like, what I would like to do for my first project is I'd want to still have a voice acting role. So like if I could put it in the contract that yes, I will sell under the conditions that I'm hired as a voice actor to play the role X, Y, and Z, and that would probably be enough for like the first go around. And then the more you do it, the more weight you have. But it's like that way you're kind of fueling yourself and making your own career better and bolstering your own career, because like you never know, like someone might hear your voice on this Netflix series and be like, I want to hire that guy, and then now all of a sudden I've got prospects interested in me as a voice actor and a voice talent as well. And it's like the idea of doing all of these things is not for financial freedom. Like I've already accomplished financial freedom in just the regular working everyday life. Now I'm just doing this stuff for fun, and like obviously like if it goes well enough and things go in my favor well enough, then I will get the financial freedom out of it. But it's just an interesting thing to look at. So kind of going back to that meeting on Friday, I have a meeting with them on Friday. I'm not sold on the fact that I'm going to go with, it says I have 6 minutes left. Let's see how we do. I'm not sold on the fact that I am going to go and all the way, like through the pilot. I'll have to ask. I don't know, like what is it worth to me? Like if they say like 10 grand, which is what I have in my mind, if they say 10 grand, am I willing to drop 10 grand on a pilot episode of an animation? I don't know. If it's like 8 grand or less, it's at least feasible, but I'm also I'm struggling a lot with the double digits. Like 10 grand, how many digits is that? 5 digits? 3 zeros plus 2, yeah, 5 digits. Those 5-digit numbers are starting to get a little weary. I can do the 4s, like I'm hoping that they say like 5 grand, because like honestly the quote that they gave me for the character and the storyboard was honestly a lot less than I'd expected. They wanted like $200 for it, and I was like, shoot, I can give you $200, that's nothing. And then but we'll see what they want for the rest of this package. And like I said, I would like at least the character designs and the pitch deck. I would really want character designs, pitch deck, and pilot episode. But we'll have to see, like I said. And I'm going to press this time for a quote. They've been dancing around that pretty heavily. Like, they're like, oh, well, maybe because I think. And I'm like, no. No, maybe because I think. I want hard answers. Like, what is this quote going to be? Because I need to know if it's even worth my time. Like, not that I don't think that their work is worth that money, but if I know that I'm not willing to pay $10K for a pilot episode, then why even go down that route? And like, it's disappointing because originally what I wanted to do with the animations, I wanted to start my own studio. I wanted to find some students who were willing to animate a project for like a couple $1,000 a month, and we were just going to knock that out and do that. But like if you say like it's a 10-minute pilot, and so if you say it's $1,000 a minute, that's gonna be a $10,000 pilot. Like that's why that number keeps sticking in my head. There was an independent person that I found on Reddit that does animation that I was going to try and hire. They wanted $1,000 a minute, and it's really hard to fork over that kind of money for animation. It'd be different if it didn't take a month for them to make it. Like if it was $1,000 a minute, it took them like a week, and you could maybe knock out like 4 minutes in a month, then we'd be talking. But like to shell out that kind of money and know that you'd only have an episode once a month because like it's going to take them that long to buy, it's just you lose your traction very quickly when there's that much of a lead time between when you're actually when you're doing the thing and when you're not doing the thing. Because like realistically speaking, you'd fork over $1,000 at the top of the month, and then at the end of the month you see your minute-long progress towards your animation. You do it again at the beginning of the month, and it's just not a cycle that makes you feel very accomplished. I was kind of doing something like that similar to Compression Man, and it was like even significantly cheaper at the time. It was like $400, and like realistically speaking, I should probably keep going with Compression Man. When it's all said and done, I should reach out to those people and be like, hey, can we keep going with Compression Man instead of doing all this crazy animation stuff. And I don't know, the person that I was using has since changed their information, so I don't know if they still offer that process or anything like that. And I'd hit them up before about Compression Man, and then I kind of just like left them hanging. So I really need to decide, and like the affordable thing to do would be to go back to Compression Man. So maybe let all this animation hullabaloo kind of fizzle out after I've got that sorted, figure out how to start pitching things, and then from there just get back on the Compression Man train, because like that is one of the lifelong goals, and I talk about that. Like most people want to travel, see the world, or whatever. I want to create stuff and create a variety of stuff and have it all be wonderful. And so even if it's just Compression Man, that's still more than most people said that they can do. Camera's saying we got 2 minutes left. It's got the big old red battery bar with the exclamation point next to it, so we are probably gonna die any second now. So, but honestly, we made it pretty close to home. I can see the exit not too far off here, so it's gonna be a race against time, but we might make it, we might not, who knows. At any rate, it has been a wonderful adventure, and I'm just gonna keep on talking, but like take that as my official sign off, if you will. But yeah, so just the goal of animation, and the thing with Compression Man is it's cheap. Like it was $400 a minute for the animation. I wasn't paying a bunch of voice actors. I was the sole writer on it. And like honestly, that's the kind of stuff that people should start with. I think the problem with me is I get my hopes up too high, and I'm just like, oh, I want to do all these things, I want to do all these great and powerful and wonderful things, and then when it comes time to do all these great and powerful and wonderful things, you're like, ugh, it costs a lot of money. And no matter how much money you have, it still doesn't feel like enough. And like I continually hear the same advice from all these business people, which is like never spend your own money, like always have someone buy stuff for you. And that just doesn't make any sense to me. Like I get the idea of it, but it just doesn't, it doesn't jive. Like if I have the money and I want to spend it, then I should spend it on that. It's better that than spending it on some other weird thing that's just going to be a waste of time and money and effort. And so I don't know, at the end of the day, that might be what I would do. I'll probably do like a serious like rethinking of all of my projects come top of the year, and just be like, okay, what am I going to do, and how am I going to go about doing it? And like I said, trying my darndest. 2024 is going to be a very, very pivotal year for me, because that is going to be my last year in my 20s, and it is going to be like make it or break it for this creative adventure of mine. Because, and like honestly, like I'm not going to give up if I have a family and I do that, but like I understand that it's not going to be as easy to throw money at things that I do now when I have a family. Like I get that too. And so it's a give and a take, and I'm just really hoping that something will start to pick up by then. Because like if I'm even like remotely noticed by then, even if I start to have the family, like there's still that groundwork that is laid. And that's the thing where I am now, is like I've laid so much groundwork, and I've tried to set myself up for success, and I have just gotten nowhere and nothing for it, and it just feels like a big old drudge. And so really, really hoping here that 2024 is an impactful year. If I hit the cartoon seriously, if I hit the YouTube seriously, I keep going with Instagram daily, and it's like something's gotta stick. I don't know what, when, where, how, or why, but something has got to stick. And so that is what I'm really hoping I can get next year, and start to like get away from just this maniacal menagerie of banging my head against the wall, getting nowhere, because that is so unsatisfying and so unsatisfying. I don't even know how else to say it. It's just unsatisfying. It's disappointing. It's a waste of everyone's time. I am so very close to home. I don't know if we're still recording or not, but I am literally pulling into the driveway right now. So if we made it, holy guacamole, I think we made it. It looks like we're still recording. 19 minutes. The camera said we only had 16. We made it home, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. I'm going to put this bad boy on the charger.